Give me a thumbs up. Perfect.
Yes.
All right. The core 360 model. In 2015, when we downsized our practice from our commercial space to our home, I checked with Shelly. For those of you who don't know, Shelly is my two-in-one partner. That she gives me a feedback about my leadership style while we had the business. And this is the conclusion. It's very sweet, short, and blunt. But you know, this is in past. I'm not going to focus on this, but I'm going to reflect on. I like this methodical approach of when you have a current state that is not effective, acknowledge it, then educate, design and develop, test it, and then implement it. Right now, I am at this phase of education of this approach. I refer to a lot of resources, including the internet and articles, and I even took courses about leadership. And I have come up with some lists that I've seen in majority of the material. They're great qualities that a leader could have. But my question is, how can I get it? I always wonder, is talent or gifts, are they embedded in us? If you ask Einstein, he will tell you, you are 10% genius and 90% practice. Although he's emphasizing on practice, he is also acknowledging that 10% of genius embedded in us. On another word, a Greek philosopher, don't ask me the name, I cannot remember the name. He says, we do not learn, we remember. What does he mean is that all the knowledge of universe is within us. So I want you to just park this idea in the back of your mind because we will get back to it. In another resources or material that I found, they classified their leadership style into two: self-serving leaders on top of the pyramid and serving leaders at the bottom of the pyramid. This model looked very black and white to me. It didn't resonate with me. I needed more shades of color in defining the leadership style. In Toastmasters, I believe we have more shades of color for leadership style. Now that I'm doing this project, understanding your leadership style, I want you, two keywords actually caught my attention, and I'm sharing with you that you pay attention to these two keywords. One is the style, and one is understanding. The style is not something to be like a quality to be. Style is your manner. Style is your design. Style is your distinctive appearance. And understanding is not, Toastmasters does not offer you to go and read and study. They want you to understand. Understand is something deeper than just reading or studying. It's referring. Referring to what? Let's park that as well. You will see it in my last slide. Then I took the quiz. Look at this. It's all evened up. First, it disappointed me because it shows me that I don't have any style that stands out. But then I started looking at it and I fell in love. And as I looked at it more, I even fell in love more. Don't tell that to Shelly though. What this is giving me the message is that I need to elaborate on my personality and collaborate with what I have learned or remembered in my different phases of my life. Because I am a visual person, I put this in a graph. Now this graph helped me to shape my thought, to base my style on some sort of principles. And believe it or not, a coincidence guided me to a practice that I used to, one of the teachings that I had several years ago, and I still practice it. And that's called Brima. Brima is a practice that is self-care, and it's care done by a practitioner and others, but something that very attracted me to this practice is the philosophy behind it. By simplifying these principles, it has transformed my personal life. Now I'm connecting the dots that this can have a direct impact on my leadership behavior. Now, another question that I usually ask myself, where the leader is located, top of the pyramid, bottom of the pyramid? I believe the leader is at the center. The leader is surrounded. Initially, I came with the eye of the storm analogy, because while the surrounding is making a lot of noise, the eye is the most quiet and the most powerful point that leads the storm. But then this came very flat to me and destructive. Maybe good for politicians, but it's not good for me. However, I still need a center to showcase that embedded talent. And here you go, I found it, the core. This core has to be organic. With utilizing this organic core energy, we can beam that energy to our environment in a 360-degree radius that is all inclusive. Do you remember I told you park that idea of embedded core, embedded talent? That's in your core. And by referring, which was the understanding, you're referring to this core. Now, in conclusion, as my role in the club, I hope with Helen's assistance that we can provide and facilitate an environment that we can all mutually support each other, that we can ignite this core energy in every single club member. Madam Toastmaster.